Hi, I'm Fred Craigie. I'm a clinical psychologist and faculty member at the Andrew Weil Center for Integrative Medicine, where I teach about spirituality, healing relationships, resilience, and well-being. Spirituality has been a resource for healing and resilience and well-being since long before the dawn of recorded human history. And particularly in the last 20 or 30 years, there's very significant scientific evidence for the beneficial role of spiritual and religious beliefs and practices in life satisfaction and quality of life and mental health status, and in many cases for our physical health. People think about spirituality in different ways. My take on it is that it has to do with what is sacred in our lives. What are the things that we cherish? What are the values that are deeply important to us? What does it mean to us to live our lives with integrity and with dignity? Sacred in terms of our relationships with people that we love and with the wider community, and sacred in terms of our relationship with God or higher power, or however it is that you may think of such a spirit or presence. The spiritual journey, as I think of it, is one of cultivating and nurturing and honoring those sacred connections as we make our ways along in life. People do that in lots of different ways. Many people are connected with a spiritual or religious community, and if that's the case with you, then my suggestion is to stay connected with that community, which fortunately is usually not hard to do with online access to gatherings that no longer take place in person. If you're not connected with a spiritual or religious community, maybe that's something you've been thinking about. Maybe this provides an opportunity for you to check out a place that has been on your mind. Prayer, mindfulness, meditation are practices that are meaningful for many people. Many people begin the day with a time of stillness or quietness or intention setting about the day to come, and end the day with a time of reflection and looking back at what the day has held. Reading and study of sacred literature in your spiritual tradition, or uplifting resources, books, videos, YouTube, TED Talks, some of the wonderful resources that are available here on the Andrew Weil Center webpage. The Labyrinth, if you're able to get outside, the Labyrinth has been a vehicle for spiritual discernment and wisdom and refreshment for literally thousands of years. So in addition to things like that, I want to suggest 4 other spiritually and psychologically informed approaches for you to think about as we together make our ways through these hard times. The first is to remember who you are. And the idea with that is that there is power and resilience in embodying values that are important to you about the kind of person that you want to be, even if you have uncomfortable thoughts and feelings. It is natural for any of us in this hard time to have all kinds of feelings of anxiety and worry and fear and sadness and depression and anger. And there's nothing wrong with having those feelings, as long as we don't give them the power to run the show. Remembering who you are means choosing to embody the qualities about the kind of person that you want to be and how you want to be reacting and living your life, even if you have uncomfortable thoughts and feelings. Kindness, compassion, creativity, or any among a host of other values that are deeply important to you. Second, finding sacred space. Many people find that the outdoors can be a place of peace and refreshment for them. Even if you can't get outdoors, even if you're limited, or as you were at home, you can create a sacred space in your home using perhaps a spiritually or religiously significant object, a picture of someone that you love, a note or placard on it with having words that are meaningful to you, and going to that place for an experience of peace and refreshment and affirmation. Cultivating relationships I've heard many stories in the last 2 or 3 weeks of people reaching out to connect with other people in their lives that they usually don't have very much contact with, in a spirit of how are you doing and how's it going and how are you making out. And what I've heard is that many times that has resulted in heartfelt and meaningful conversations and even some renewing and re-energizing of those relationships. Fourth, being grateful. There is ample scientific evidence as well for the beneficial value of gratitude and gratefulness practices, both in times that we experience as good times and easy times, and especially in hard times. Being able to look for where are the small gifts, where are the small blessings, what are the things that even in the face of suffering and challenge, I may be able to be thankful for. So those are some ideas I want to suggest to you. My hope is that you will be safe and well as you make your way through this. And my hope, in addition, is that for all of us, this may end up being a time of some transformation, and that this may end up being a time of a renewed consciousness for what is sacred in our lives, and a renewed commitment to honoring those things that we hold most dear and the relationships that are dear to our heart.